channel, welcome to another episode of One I Switched Off But Why? And I haven't done one of these for a while, so yeah, let's explore this film here, They Crawl Beneath.
You want to mess with me?
Okay, yeah, so One I Switched Off. Okay, some people might think this isn't a very fair series to do because, you know, I've started a film, I didn't like it, so I switched it off. Is that a fair way to assess a film? Well, in my opinion, yes it is, because obviously I've switched it off for a reason. Something has gone wrong with the film, with what I'm watching, to make me pick up the control and go, I'm not watching this. Now, I'm not talking about I fell asleep during it because I was tired or anything like that. I watched the film, I'm bored, I think it's particularly bad, whatever it may be, and I switch it off. I've done it with films in the past. I've done it with Matrix Resurrection. I've done it with, and upset a lot of people, with Schindler's List. There we go. Not that that was a bad film, just I wasn't into it because I know the history of that outside of the context of the film. I don't need the film to give me a history lesson. I studied history for a while, and that was part of it, because World War II's what I was primarily into, that era of history. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so I thought, you know, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch They Crawl Beneath, this new 2022 movie, directed by Dale Fabriga. Now, Dale Fabriga has 39 directing credits to his name on IMDb. Nothing that I'm aware of, but some of it is co-directing, some of it is shorts, some of it's in TV, this sort of a thing. So he's got, you know, 39 things being directed. It's quite a decent amount, isn't it, really? The film was written by Trisha Orand, and to be fair, I don't know anything else that she has written. Now, I saw the trailer for this film, and I went into it with a sort of, okay, it's Tremors. It's essentially a remake of Tremors. So, yeah, I'm going to go in, watch it, get a sort of cheaper Tremors vibe out of it. Now, I'm a big fan of Tremors. I love the first Tremors film. I actually love the Tremors franchise, the other cheaper films that came after, and in between those films, the TV series that was done on the Sci-Fi Channel that ran for something like only 13 episodes. I like that as well. So I thought I was sort of getting something of that ilk. So I sat down, I started this film, and I can't have even got 15 minutes in before I switched off. I mean, it may have been 10 minutes. So we're introduced to the main character of Danny. He's a policeman. He's having these nightmares of stuff. And there's these earthquakes occurring around town. And these earthquakes obviously open up fissures, and these wormy type things come crawling out. And they come out tiny. And he's visiting his uncle. Now, Danny's played by Joseph Almani, who I don't know, but he looked very much like a bit-rate Clark Kent type of thing. He had the sort of checkered shirt on with these big rim glasses, dark hair, that sort of a look. He was visiting his uncle, Uncle Ben. He was visiting his uncle in it, and they were working on this car. When his uncle gets bit by this wormy thing on his leg, so he picks it up, he scoops it up. This is Danny. He scoops it up into a jar, and he's like, "Oh, I've got a friend who might be interested in this." All of a sudden, someone pulls up, literally straight away. I'm like, "Well, where have they came from?" Only it's a girl that he's had a relationship with previously. They're on a bit of rocky terms, maybe separated, and he hands her the jar. Wait a minute. This has happened. There's no cut. There's no time passed. She takes the jar, they have a little bit of a tat-a-tat sort of thing, and she gets in her car and drives away. And he starts work on the car, like on getting the tyres off of this car, jacking it out, getting the tyres off. All of a sudden, we cut to this science lab. We cut to this science lab where we're introduced to Dr. Wu, played by Ga Yi Lee. And she's looking at the worm under a microscope and talking to the girl, Gwen, played by Carla Eldridge. And then we cut back to this Danny working on the car. Wait, so she's managed to drive all the way to wherever this place is, give this Dr. Wood a little worm, and nothing's happened here. No time has passed, right? Then we cut back, right, and the worm it's like it sort of shed its skin and got away, and they don't even look for it. Then we cut back to the car scene again, and again he's working on the car. So no time's passed there, but time's passing here, because then we get to a point where she says she's got the results back of its venom, but yet he's still working on the car here. So the time frame of what's going on here to the time frame of what's going on there was just doing my head in. It really was. The time frames just weren't working between these scenes. And it wasn't done in such a way that it was sort of like flashing back to something or anything like that. It was literally done, you know, as linear time. And my head couldn't handle it. And at this point, I said to my missus, I said, I'm turning this off. This is rubbish. You know, this is crap. So I switched it off. At that point, I couldn't go any further for that reason, right? Now, not only that, yes, the effects were particularly bad when you saw one of these creatures jump in his dream, jump at this Danny. Some sort of creature jumped at him in his dream anyway. And it looked like sort of special effects from maybe 20, 25 years ago. Now, I know that's a bit of a criticism in the sense that it's a cheap film, you know, the budget that they had to play with and this sort of thing. And I can excuse it for that if, you know, because I was ready to give it a go, because I like these sort of creature features. But not the editing with the non-linear time storytelling but it's meant to be linear. It just does my nut in. It does my nut in. So for that very reason, I switched this piece of garbage film off. Yes, They Crawl Beneath, otherwise called It Crawls Beneath in some other territories. It's got the two titles. So there we go. There's my reason for turning this piece of nonsense off. I couldn't get through it. Now, I'm not the type of person who, you know, if a film's not interesting me, I will turn it off. For whatever reason, you know, it might be that it's just not working for me. It might be that I'm bored with it. It might be that I do think it's an extremely big pile of trash. I might just not be in the mood for the film. It could be that as well. But this one here sits in that garbage pile from, you know, and you can judge a film by the first 10, 15 minutes. If it's not working, then it ain't gonna work. If it's not working for you. Anyway, so that was it. Switched off. Didn't like it. End of story. This is AJ. Hit the subscribe button, come join the channel, leave me a comment down below. If you've seen this film, tell me, am I missing something by not having watched the end? Have I missed out on something fabulous? Well, watch the end. I didn't even watch half of it. But have I missed out on something? Come and tell me. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, all.